So let's get into the vintage cubes. First off, let's start with my favorite one, the Meffert's unopened one from Germany. Yeah, so just the 1981 Meffert's. I showed you the recent one, and yeah, this one's very nice, and I got it from eBay. This is the same one, but it's out of the packaging. But when I got it from Cube Heads, the guy who sold me most of these, he never really turned it, so it's basically brand new. And yeah, it turns decent for a very old cube. Next up we have, let's just go with the pier rings. So this is a USSR tiled pier rings. There's no ball bearings, and it's very much smaller than the original. That small. Very whooshy sound. And the tips are just there, I guess. And yeah, I like how this one's from Russia. Okay, let's just finish off the pier rings. This is a knockoff pier rings. I have no idea what brand it is, but it turns awfully because it's been worn out with the use. And yeah, it just pops like let's see. Yeah, that's how easy it is to take a piece out. But having more vintage cubes is always best. Next up we have a keychain pier rings. Now this one I love because it's in black plastic, and those are vintage pier rings, and black plastic are very rare. But this one does not turn great at all. Sometimes if you turn it, it just stops. But yeah. I also have one in the package, which is great. It's a bit ruffled up around there, but you know, it's great. Okay, so next up we have a square one. Only this sticker's beat up, but it has the weird color scheme where yellow is next to white and green is next to blue. But yeah, very fancy. Next up is the Rubik's Revenge puzzle. This one was made back in this is not focusing for some reason. Okay, it's made in Macaw. Has the weird color scheme again, like this. But yeah, it's with these conditions of stickers, which is basically like 10 out of 10. I was lucky to get this. Next up are my 2 billion barrel puzzles. One is not open and one is, just for trying to solve it. And I have to admit, out of all these 110 or so cubes in my collection, this is the only one that I cannot solve. And it was made in the 80s. So think about now back then when they had no tutorial and they were stuck with this. Alright, yep, it's focused. Okay, now to the orbit puzzles. This is very fun. I love the click of it, although it can be loud sometimes. There's this function. There's the north and south poles, so we can first just turn all 4 independently, then click it once and just spiral all the way back, and then you do it twice, and now it's like a tennis ball where there's 2 different cycles like that. And then if you do it fully, then it just switches everything. And I have 2 of these. Very fun. Okay, now let's go to 3x3s. That's the most I have. We have a keychain 3x3, which is in a flower pattern. It turns actually very nicely because I put some marrow in it. And yeah, I'm not gonna put this on anything though because that's just how old it is, and I don't want it like stolen or anything. Also, sorry the camera's out of, the cube's out of frame sometimes because now the camera is leveled up so that you can see the cube behind me. Alright, so we first have these two knockoff puzzles. They're both wonderful puzzler. I can open them, but I prefer keeping them inside. So here it is. Some sides actually took the caps off, but some ended really badly. As this one like split there. But yeah, it's still a old cube. Alright, so this one's the next one. It's in a different packaging. I like this one just because of the special colors it has. What I mean by that is it has, look at that blue. Look how bright and like amazing that color is. This one I did absolutely nothing to it. I just moved it around once and then I stopped. Oh no. Okay, there we go. See what I mean? It's not the best, but it also has a bit like a dark gold color, and the rest are pretty bright, like orange. Well, that's what I like about it. And yeah. Alright. Now we're left with more 3x3s. Whoops. Here's one that I got from Toronto from eBay. From Kijiji. It has a weird color scheme. It was very dirty in the inside, but as you can see, it's flat. The centerpiece. So I think it is an original, but the stickers are very poor quality. Next up is another Rubik's Cube. This one's actually real, and it's made in Korea, and that's cool because that's where I'm born. The stickers are actually more rectangular than square, which is fascinating. And there's, like the Waylon GTS, surprisingly, there's a white outline on the outside, and it also has the Japanese color scheme. Next we have this cube. This one's legitimate because it has a fluorescent orange, and this can actually do 45, surprisingly, on some sides, like that. Just because the springs are really stretchy, and yeah, it's very strange. This one was one of my first ever vintage cubes that I got from a math teacher. And yeah, it turns very nicely. Next up is another vintage cube that I got from my math teacher. These two colors are swapped, the green and orange. It is a real one though, but the corners are capped. Like that. So it does not turn the greatest and it catches a lot, but it's still good for collection purposes. Okay, let's get to these ones. These are my unopened ones. This one I got from Kijiji because some guy in my town said he actually had one of these, so I got it for a good price. And this one, which is in better packaging, it's a bit less bent and all that. This one I got from Cube Heads. And this one's very nicer. And also, surprisingly, it's very hard to see, but that logo is like one of those like Speed Cube Shop logos where it's clear. But on this one, it's actually printed, and that's what I find fascinating. And I'll just put these way back here. Now the last vintage thing. It's not really a cube, but it's a booklet. And I read over this, and I don't know how people actually learn from this because it's black and white. So look at that. It's all in patterns. And it's so interesting of how they learned it back then. They even did teach you how to take it apart, and it also shows that the original center was in a square. And it also has the old color scheme where it's white and yellow are adjacent. And I'm guessing that's orange. Not for this one though, but yeah, it's very, it's they use different algorithms like L plus and L minus instead of L prime and all that. And yeah, and this one's just a fun thing. You can type any, like, I guess like letter with the cube, I guess. But yeah, also shows you some patterns like this. This is the flower pattern, and this is the flower pattern that's also the checkerboard one. So it's very nice. Okay, so now to my non-WCA puzzles.